Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick, and this is where we pick the upsets. And I'm a humble guy, but I'm not going to be humble here. No one picks the upsets better than me. Go back to last week's video just for case template A. First game in this week 14, I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys are at the Cincinnati Bengals. Dallas is favored by 3.5 points. But I don't see any reason why Cincinnati can't win this game. And we looked at that Cowboys-Ravens game last night, and the Cowboys, they lose life during games. They can play good for a quarter or two, but that offense, with those receivers, they have no pop. They have no explosive plays. But thirdly, this Dallas team has no heart. And we saw Cincinnati come out and play really, really hard and decent football against Miami last week. And then I'm looking at Brandon Allen, and I'm saying he's not that bad. I do think Dalton is a little bit better, but does that mean Dalton's going to perform better on Sunday? I don't think so. And then I'm sure Cincinnati is going to have some nasty weather waiting for Dallas. And then you have to go back to what I just said. How much heart does Dallas have? How much do they even want to win? Do they even have the desire to get in the trenches and push Cincinnati around? You can push Cincinnati's front seven around. I just don't know if Dallas is the team that's motivated to do it. And motivation is the main buzzword when we look at this game. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals will have a field day against this Cowboys defense. This Cowboys defense is simply bad. There's no other way to put it. And I think this is the worst defense in this league. So I think Cincinnati will pull this upset. But this Cincinnati plus 3.5, man, if you put this bet in, it makes me sleep really, really comfy. I don't see Cincinnati losing by more than a field goal. Worst case scenario. And I'm pretty sure they win this game. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas is +3, and we won lots of money on the Raiders this year, but luckily we held off last week, and then we held off the week against Atlanta. I know a lot of you guys got caught up in that Atlanta mess, and I told you guys to stay out of it, but you didn't. But this is one game, I think this is where we get back in. This is where we go back in the Raiders cookie jar, and I think we'll be able to pull out some hundreds out of the cookie jar. I'm looking at the Colts, and yes, the Colts, they've been a money pick the last 2 weeks, and they've came good for me. But I do see cracks in this Colts team. I like the Raiders defense against this Colts offense. I think this Raiders defense, the main thing they do well is they flatten the football and they're physical. And that's a great way to stop the Colts. We know teams put 8-9 men in the box and they make Phillip Rivers throw it. I think there's a few turnovers in this game for the Raiders. Listen, it was a wake-up call for the Raiders against the Jets, and we know they haven't traveled well. They didn't travel well last year. That's why their season slipped away last year. I do not think Chucky will let the season slip away this year. Carr needs to play better, but the Raiders need to keep it simple. They need to get that big offensive line moving forward. We know the Colts have a great front seven, but you can exploit their secondary. So, yes, we want to see a lot of Josh Jacobs, but I think the Raiders will have a little bit of a different strategy. I think they'll go 3-4 wide receivers. I think they'll spread it out more, and that's how you attack this Colts defense. I've been saying it all year. Raiders, I'm pretty sure Raiders take care of business. But at the end of the day, we don't know if the Raiders will show up. So I understand for security, if you wanted to take the Raiders +3. I completely understand. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the LA Chargers. Atlanta's favored by 2.5 or 3 points, depending on where you place your bets. And this is the definition of people getting over emotional about 1 week. Yes, we know the Chargers have their problems. Yes, Anthony Lynn shouldn't be head coach any longer. I'm not going to sit here and debate you about those two obvious facts. But let's be calm here. Let's take a deep breath and let's understand we're not betting last week. Last week, the Chargers didn't show up against the Patriots. And that's why I laid off of it last minute. Anyone on my Patreon page knows I laid off of it. But this is the time, I think, to get back on the Chargers. You got Atlanta coming in. Atlanta doesn't play good defense, and I don't want to hear the Raheem Morris stuff because anyone's going to be an upgrade on Dan Quinn. And yes, the Falcons have been playing harder, but the Falcons have their issues, especially in this secondary, and that's the wrong place to have your issues when you're playing against the Chargers. Herbert had a down week. I think he bounces back, and I think he comes back with gusto, and I think the Chargers make bigger plays. Also, the Falcons have problems in the red zone with their offense. The Falcons are a really good stat team. When I say that, the Falcons will put up 600 yards, 500 yards on offense. They'll come away with 17 points or 20 points because they like kicking field goals and they like turning the ball over in the red zone. I think the Chargers defense is able to make just enough plays, and I feel like the Chargers offense will play better than the Falcons offense this game. There are some concerns. There's a reason why this is an upset because we have Anthony Lynn. He's in lame duck status now, and his team just didn't respond to whatever he was trying to sell last week. Well, I want to give credit to the Patriots, but let's be real. The Chargers did not show up last week, and I was quite surprised by it. I think they come in. I think they play better. I think they win the game. Next game, I know you guys are talking about these two games, so I want to mention them, and I want to give them their fair due. We got the Minnesota Vikings plus 6.5 at Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know a lot of you guys are feeling this upset. And the Minnesota Vikings are my team, but I would caution you against this. Now, yes, this does set up as an upset because Tampa Bay hasn't played good against quality opposition this year. There's no other way to frame it. But are the Minnesota Vikings quality opposition? You look at that Carolina game 2 weeks ago. You look at that Jacksonville game a week ago. Minnesota really had no business winning either one of those. The Jaguars are really bad, so you can understand why Minnesota won that one. But I really felt like the Jags and Panthers outplayed them 2 straight weeks at home. Now Minnesota's going on the road to the heat and humidity of Tampa, and this Tampa Bay team, you just think they're going to take off. I'm not out on the Tampa Bay bandwagon yet. I know some of you guys are going to place this bet. You're liking this upset, but I don't because the Vikings can't cover anyone and they can't rush the passer. It looks like Eric Kendricks will be out, and that's the problem with Minnesota. You trade away Ngakoue, Hunter's out for the season, so you don't really have a pass rush. I'm not saying the defensive line isn't playing decent. They play with heart, and they got some good young players, but there's no one to propel that pass rush. And the Vikings rely on Kendricks and Harrison Smith to help the pass rush. They blitz a lot, and when the Vikings defense is at their best, Harrison Smith and Eric Kendricks are blitzing and playing in that box. Unfortunately, Eric Kendricks will be out of this game, and I think that's going to kill the Vikings. And I think Brady will be able to work to those tight ends and the 10, 15-yard radius over the middle of the field with the intermediate passes. Kendrick's the best cover linebacker in the league, and the Vikings will miss him across that middle, and that's where Brady's going to eat. And this game isn't going to even be close. I believe Tampa Bay comes in, and Tampa Bay wins this in blowout fashion. I know you guys are on the upset trend. We hit a lot last week, but I have to be realistic, and I am talking about this. People are going to be like, Lawson, you didn't pick the upset on this video, man. Why are you talking about it in an upset video? Because people are going to bet it, and I want to make you guys win money, and I want you guys to avoid bad situations. Taking Minnesota is a bad situation, even if you take the points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got another game, and there isn't any science to this. I know I'm going to get killed in the comment section for this. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly is +7, and Jalen Hurts is starting, and I'm feeling this one a little bit. I'm feeling an upset. I'm feeling a good Eagles performance, and we saw them respond last week once Jalen Hurts came in the game, and hasn't that been what we've been looking for the Eagles for the last 5-6 weeks? It's just a response. We're not asking for good football. We're not asking for high-octane football. We're literally asking for them to show some sort of pulse, and they finally showed it. And you got a New Orleans team, and on the comment section, people are saying this is the most complete New Orleans team, or this is the most complete team in the NFC. People said that last year too, and then the Vikings dabbed on the Saints at home in the playoffs. So we need to get some perspective and understand that this NFC is wide open, and there is no alpha in this NFC. And I think Philadelphia will prove it. And eventually, the Drew Brees injury, there has to be a toll paid, right? We know Sean Payton's amazing. A credit to Taysom Hill coming in here and balling at times and running the offense properly. But there has to be some sort of consequence paid for Drew Brees being out, even though Drew Brees isn't what Drew Brees used to be. And I think this week the consequence is paid with a big Philadelphia upset. This +7's easy. I absolutely love this +7. I want you guys in on this. No ifs, ands, or buts. But I would not be shocked if Philadelphia won this game. And I'm looking at the Saints, and I don't even think they're as good as last year. I really don't. And they've had some great games this year. We can't forget about the 2 wins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't want to brush that under the rug. But the Eagles will have something on Sunday. We know when Pedersen, when his back's against the wall, when he's in a big game, when the money's on the line, that man can pull rabbits out of hats. He hasn't had his best year coaching by any means, but you add this mobility of Jalen Hurts, I feel like it helps Pedersen. Not because Carson Wentz is trash and Carson Wentz can't move, but this offensive line can't pick up any splits. A simple A-gap blitz they can't pick up. So that's why you need Jalen Hurts, and it will change the mentality of Pedersen. We're going to see more running the football. We're going to see more 80s, 90s football from this Eagles team. And the best way to help an offensive line that is struggling pass blocking is to get them going forward. And that's what the Eagles will do. The Eagles will get more rush yards than the Saints, and that will lead to a possible upset. Let me look at some other games I know you guys want me to talk about in terms of the upset. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I see Buffalo's favored by 2.5 now. I got Buffalo to win, but I don't know if that's an upset if Pittsburgh wins. I really don't. I don't think that's one we consider an upset. I know some people are going to be mad I didn't talk about the Washington no-names at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not feeling that this week. I think San Fran comes in. I think San Fran runs the ball better. That's why I don't think that's an upset. Don't get me started on Jets at Seattle. Firing Greg Williams isn't going to solve anything. Adam Gase is an absolute joke. I like how he's blaming Greg Williams for that loss against the Raiders, but Adam Gase is the joke. He is a joke. And then Denver at Carolina. We have to wait and see how the injuries shake out with Denver at Carolina. We've won a lot of money with Denver, but I don't think it's our week to strike with Denver again. Hit the like button, share the videos, make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on. This is the best gambling show on the internet, without a doubt.